guest speaker and our guest of honor today. I'll tell you a little story. A number of years ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Mexico City with our advancement director, our headmaster, Mr. Ross, Mr. Wolf. And we were down there doing a recruitment for a few days and attending an alumni event. And it was very hot and very busy couple of days, and I was getting ready to head back to Toronto. And Mike and Disney said, hey, we're going to have drinks with a friend of ours who is certainly affiliated with the school and with alumnus, and we'd love you to meet him. That was my first encounter with George Diamondopoulos. I don't know if any of them probably remember as well as I do, because I couldn't stay very long in the meeting. I couldn't stay long to have a few drinks with them, as they had to get on a plane and head home. But I thought that day when I left, isn't that interesting when you meet people from various backgrounds who have been connected to Stanstead in various years. And I sort of was a little bit jealous, a little bit envious that I didn't get a chance to really hang out with George and get to know him more. And here I am standing, many years later, introducing him today as our guest of honor and our guest speaker. George had a stellar career at Stanstead. He was here from 1989 to 1994. He was actively involved in the school, I think as actively as any of our students could be. He took an interest in sports. He was an intellect. He asked a lot of questions. And he did very well. He was an example of somebody who succeeded at Stanstead College. He then went on to Dalhousie University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in economics, only to be outshined by an MBA at the Schulich School of Business, where he specialized in finance and real property. He then started his career in the finance community, working amongst other companies, folks like Scotia Capital, Scotia Bank, and developed a very keen interest in the Latin American market. That soon took him to Mexico City, where he was employed initially with Scotiabank, and then went on to various companies before starting his own, and has been very successful in everything that he has done in that emerging market and throughout Latin America. He has a knack. The analysts listen to him, and he understands the oil and gas sector very well. He has done a remarkable job, and I'm sure he looks back on his career, his family looks back on his career, realize that the best is yet to come, but he has certainly established himself as an individual to be reckoned with in that market, and he is looked to very often for advice in that sector. That's what George does. That's not who George is. I don't want to take away from his career, he's had a stellar career, but that's what he does. A couple of weeks ago, when Mike asked me to introduce him today, I reached out to some of the faculty, some of his friends, acquaintances, and I got back quite a bit of information on George. And it was the normal stuff one would expect for somebody who's been so successful, both at Stanstead in their career. And there was a common theme that started to come through in emails and conversations that I had. In words like generosity, intellect, sensitive, loyal, friendship, looking out for the underdog. That's who George is. That's who George is. And he has made a successful career, I would argue, out of both being successful in the financial world, but also in his personal life. He takes friendship and loyalty very serious. He is an alumnus. He is a trustee. He gives back to the school significantly in a financial way. And he's come here from Mexico City to address you today. George and I have a mutual good friend who is on the board of directors. We're both very close to this individual. His name is BJ Powell. Faculty will probably remember him. And BJ came to Canada very abruptly as a result of the war that was going on in Kuwait. He arrived at Stanstead in the late fall. There was snow on the ground. He walked up the steps of Davis' house and he was assigned to a particular room in the residence. And when he walked into the room, he met George. And BJ's told me this story over here many times, how intimidated he was by the school and by the whole experience of coming from halfway around the world, having to leave his own family very abruptly. I said, so how did you interact with the kids and, how did you interact with George? So George came in and introduced himself, and I'll say he did it with a tap, not with a kick, but George tapped him on the shoulder pretty hard. BJ was kind of stunned by it. And they talked for a few minutes. So what did you do? How did you react to that? What happened next? friends in about 5 minutes. And they have been loyal friends ever since. And that is what George is. That's what George is all about. I know he's going to speak to you and give you a lot of wisdom today, but sometimes people come through Stanstead College that stand out, and this is one of those gentlemen. So, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend and our speaker today, George Diamondopoulos.
Thanks a lot, Ian, for not sharing all the information my friend must have given you. First of all, I'm going to give a quick introduction to all the time team Primero que nada, quiero dar un agradecimiento a todos los mexicanos latinos que muy lejos para este evento. Es muy importante que se sientan parte de la familia de Stanstead. That's all thanks to Mr. I'm also, I'm very excited for originally for one reason, but now for two. I'm discovering that the all robotic ignorance kid song, so that's awesome. So, the other is, I graduated from Stanstead 21 years ago, and this, I was trying to think back, and what's exciting about this time is that this is perhaps the one moment in your life that the most doors are open. In terms of an economic terms, people are options. More than any other time in your lives, your career and life path are going to be close to the term. Graduating from a cross school in the country, that's come with the life. And particularly important in today's economy, we partly don't know cultural and national level in most of the schools. You've also hopefully developed a global network of friendships over a very long future. My new experience is a result of this. We Canadian, after Stanstead on the site, now then you're able to from South America. This is mostly as a result of international perspective Stanstead gave. Also a little bit because I don't know my primary business is both as a debt and it's usually a result of that international perspective and cultural perspective. Our job is really to effectively bridge the business culture gap between U.S. hedge funds and the Mexican businesses we invest in. Since you are now graduating from Stanstead, your career and life path are you know you may think that some work or code engineering or social studies, that's really not true. Where you end up is what we're going to be and that's great. See, I'm not really a big fan of what I call either work concept. But you can't really excel at something unless you successfully dedicate yourself to it per se. When I was graduating my own life, versus the probably 12 years in architect, I went over that I studied architecture after leaving Stanstead, came to the unfortunate cultural relation that could cross gates so for change from my life. I wound up falling into corporate finance and banking and excelling. Now it turns out that I'm a profitable business here because I'm an entrepreneur and investor, or a bar, restaurant, and training company. I never would have thought of that. As you progress from here on, everything you spend in the job, academic pursuit, or nothing at all, along with each and we're one of those roles that I mentioned earlier. So, one of the things we're talking about, I try to remember what I've seen from the before I've seen. That actually didn't get very far, what I think was the after part of the time. I didn't really remember much of that was the Trustees. So, it's also pretty awkward. What I decided to do instead is to give you guys the advice that I want you to yourself. It takes about a travel time to myself to look at it from and I think we have 5 points. There's one thing that I am after all fine. So most people who speak me, the message is really important to balance in life and becoming a well-rounded, successful person. Making not sure to take before in one direction, or anyway. Having interest in pursuing, don't leave yourself in the open street. You're one of the very lucky people, and I consider myself one, that your work, your career, your passion are fantastic, but make sure to find other things to do. This action point is really important to me from going to do and finding something you love that is going to go out all like that. One thing that I'm saying. Stay focused. We also play a little bit more on the important thing to make sure you come back. And have a good time. Live your life with great experiences. It's hard to achieve any real success without a good education, but not everything. Partying too much is definitely not the way back. Something that I'm really good at. But so is becoming the person who dedicates his life exclusively to his career and stays behind the ball. Having several outlets, pursuits, and passion, and diverse experiences help you balance self-conscious emotion and allows you clearer, less emotional states. More importantly, it also helps you turn into more into being more another person. Not wanting to sound like an Stanstead, and something to do with Stanstead that seems like as well, as many people know. Academics, and social life, this is also where I always take offense to most of the things. Something about being nice to nerds. It's been the word nerds because they and being nice to nerds is the one they will follow in for. If you use the definition of a nerd as somebody without a personality, what we both come from, doesn't look at anything else, I totally disagree with this. In reality, the most successful guys I know, CEOs, founders of businesses, aside from their strong academic backgrounds, tend to be well-rounded, fun people who can balance hard work and learning, personality, and social intelligence. What differentiates a founder or CEO, all think that organization, from one of the cogs of the machine, founder, engineer, or salesperson, or business captain, is the ability to deal with conflict and manage difficult situations, manage complex personalities, to generate consensus among different interests, to have vision and the ability to see the big picture, and more importantly, the ability to communicate that vision, that view, and inspire other people. All these things come from living and enjoying life and great experiences. The white man once said to me, people don't get as far as Thomas Paine, but only to where their temptation to lose is allowed. Point number 2, never be intimidated. Don't ever assume that someone, whoever you is smarter than you. I'm amazed today that even the most skilled professionals can't completely separate emotions from professional decisions. The most common form of this is intimidation and security, or the people's reputation and success as well. Believe in yourself, never, ever, ever feel weaker. On the other side, do your best to ensure that your reputation and success can be Now, the third point is important. The biggest impediment to success is your own comfort zone. There's no Chinese story that will probably look at that way and it goes something like this. A young philosopher is traveling in the countryside of century. They come across a very old house in this place. The family in the house are probably, poor farmers. All they have is one cow. And yet they sell the milk, sell the cheese in the market, and make enough money to pay for their food, pay the rent, and pay for food for the cow. Who knows what's going to happen when the cow dies? The family shows these philosophers and shit like that. They literally take food off their plate, they give it to them, hold off their back, and that's the close. And the guy stays 3 or 4 days in the house. After a few days, they're decided that they want to clean. And the student, the philosopher, turns to the teacher and says, I really like to do this guy. He's incredibly humble. If you sacrifice, and another question. I really like to do goes up to anyone as well. The family is doing it. Turns out that the family they're the one why it's successful. When the cow was killed, of course, finally it was to survive. All of them killed. So it turns out that one of them killed, they anger the other one, that's the part of their play. Going into the biggest obstacle to success is how you use the foundation such. Your comfort zone is where you feel just enough to get by. You can have your job on your goal. When you decide real growth and success comes when you constantly challenge, tested, constantly learning. My personal experience, the hardest thing I ever had in my career was also a step that created me successful in life. I was in my ideal job, 34, 35 years old, as director, hedge fund, invested in well, autonomy, and I had 8 massive bonuses at the university. I also probably had the course, is a law firm. And these guys are a perfect example of it. An associate lawyer has a quarter of a little hours, so they have to work in order to make that salary, they really have to work 4 hours. Which is only the relationship. On the contrary, the partners, the bosses, the really smart guys, they need their base salary, but they need to be sending all of those hours by every single day. They apply their time and effort from the business. There's really no good in another associate that can work so it's better to do better. Other examples of our businesses, the retailers are one set up, so one we give them for $1 million a month, and the one we give them for $1 million a month, they get the same amount of effort. Franchises are coming closer home from the restaurants, waking up and that one. At my dead firm, SMX, I have a logo on the wall that I really actually use that says we're a machine on the team, and I say every day. And this is to keep reminding me of what it's not in the relationship. You know, when you talk about the safety in the finance industry, it's usually from it's a bunch of professionals together and try to find generate deals and everything. But a machine is well, a machine is a machine compared to this. Our meals, our calls, it's going to play that basically works for us. I say we